we're back. Hi, welcome back to the podcast. I hope you're
Hey,
all doing
everybody.
well. Hope you're all doing
Hey,
well.
everybody's doing well here in Florida. How you doing?
I am alive. I'm
Oh,
doing
boy.
okay. I'm doing all
Okay,
right.
that's good.
We have we have two specific topics we want to talk about um today, and we're going to
Surprise,
just get right into
surprise me.
we're
Surprise
good.
me.
We're going to get right into them. The first one is actually one that we were talking about just before the call or before the podcast, which has to do with you were talking about student loan debt and Biden's new $7 billion bill or something like that. Can you tell me what that was? Because I'm not 100% on that.
Well, I didn't read it thoroughly. I just saw the number $7.7 billion dollars
Hmm.
uh, was going to be allocated towards student debt. But
Okay. So that might be his initial thing that he's offering because I
yeah,
read recently that he's trying to there was a bill that was trying to be put in over the next 10 years. It would pay off uh any one student debt who's making less than 75,000, and it was like 30 billion a year, something like that. That was the original that was the article I read, so I thought that was the one you were talking about.
no,
Uh
something came out this morning. I just glanced over it because I didn't really want to waste my time. I have uh, a, uh, a theory about this, but I'll let you get into it because you brought it up.
okay.
Oh,
Um
you want
so
my theory?
yeah, let's hear your theory first before I get into mine.
Okay. First of all, I know you agree with me. I think all education should be free. That's number one. But with student debt, I think a lot of people, because I've been talking to people about it, a lot of people don't feel that they should have to pay for other people's debt, especially since they just got finished, many years ago or even recently
Yeah,
paying for their own children's debt.
right.
So I sympathize with them. I was fortunate in my day that my dad paid for all my schooling through undergraduate and graduate, and continue to do so as I got more and more courses to take. But like in your case, you have student debt. But I have a theory that if you can't get free education, I think that um, people who can't afford to go to college should sign a contract that if they go and get free education, that they have to serve in some capacity as a public servant, whether it's a teacher or in the government for a period of 5 years. And this is from the inception of the start, not after they finished, with the degrees, signing it, but before. And then if they don't complete their obligation according to the contract, then they're going to have to pay for it. Because it would give them an opportunity to give back. I know,
Yeah, I can
yeah,
I can see what you're getting at, and I think there's a noble thing in that, but I think it also derails a lot of people's careers. If you spend 4 years doing something and then you have to do another 4 or 5 years as teaching instead of being a lawyer or teaching instead of being a doctor, you no longer probably have the skills to be said teacher or doctor. So,
whoa,
um,
whoa, whoa, whoa. You can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, but work in the capacity of, uh, the government. You could be
oh,
a
I see what you're
doctor,
saying. Okay, so you'd be a doctor under the government's uh,
auspices, yeah, you
organization. Got
know,
it. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Okay. Um, so I'm gonna take you through a little journey here. So I need you to, we're gonna follow along, and those who are listening as well, we're gonna follow along.
Okay.
And this directly correlates to student debt and what we're talking about. So if it doesn't seem like it at first, go listen to the whole thing first. So currently, our military budget is 2.2 trillion as of 2024. And mind you, this information I'm going to come up with is I can provide all the links because I'm actually making a video about this on my social medias. So Currently, the DoD, Department of Defense, on the government website, their budget, their budgetary resources for this year is 2.2 trillion. Different than the 830 or 850 billion that you will see on a press release from the Department of Justice saying that they were approved for that much or whatever. Biden said 820 billion. That is the base defense budget. The actual full and total budget of the Department of Defense is $2.202 trillion. Last year it was 1.5 whatever trillion dollars. Of that 2.02, I think it's like 600 billion is obligated expenses, meaning that it's promised. It's already been promised, it's already been paid to, agreed to be paid to immediately. The moment they get the budget, that money's going right out. The other 1.4, 1.5 billion, 1.5 trillion dollars is unobligated. It can just go wherever it needs to go. Currently, the base budget of the 860 billion to 900 billion that we spend as the base, the one that you'll see in all of the news reports and the, like anytime you go on CNN.com or Associated Press or The Guardian, wherever, and they talk about the defense budget, you'll see 850 or 900 billion. That number is more than the 10 countries below us in their spending together. So if you take the 10 countries that are spending the most money possible on their defense and put them together, we are still spending $20+ billion more than all of them combined with that 850 to 900 billion. That's 850 to 900 billion. That's not accounting for $1.1 trillion. With me so far? Yes?
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm with you.
So if we were to cut the defense spending in half and still have $1 trillion going to the Defense Department, meaning that we would still be higher than the 10 countries below us and have $100 billion left over to throw wherever we want, because we're currently only spending 900 billion. So that last 100 billion could go wherever they want. And we take that 1 trillion that we just took from the defense and put it into a variety of things. I'm going to now tell you what we could do with that in this country. With $1 trillion, half of the DoD's budget, we could do, let's see, we could end homelessness. End, because go on, Google it anywhere. It costs anywhere from 10 to $30 billion a year to end homelessness. Not even a year, right? It like just to get everyone out, completely remove homelessness in America, eradicate it, 10 to $30 billion a year. Then we could take $500 billion, 550 if we really want, and of that trillion, and allocate it to student debt, and in 3 years, pay off every single person's debt in America in 3 years. Because currently, if you were to take every student debt in America and combine it, it equates to $1.6 trillion. So if we allocate $550 billion every single year of that 1 trillion that we now have as play money, right?
Are you sure it's play money?
I'm saying if we took, I say play money because obviously the Department of Defense's budget comes from our tax dollars, comes from our money anyways. We're paying them. That's where that money comes from. So if we were to take half of that, give them their trillion and take this trillion, We could end homelessness and in 3 years pay off all student debt. And then if we were to continue paying $500 billion into education like that, we could arguably have free education because we could continue to pay off all student debt because that's why it would take 3 years, right? Okay, cool. That still leaves $400 billion every single year to reinvest into our country. Infrastructure, science, healthcare, education system, quality of life, anything else that could benefit and help the general public of America. Arguably, if you really wanted to, you could just give everyone $1,000. Every single person in America could get $1,000 a year with that extra 400 billion. Because we've got whatever, like 375 million people in America. Multiply that times 1,000 and you get 3.7, you get 370 whatever billion dollars. So you, with that extra 400 billion, after we solve homelessness and solve education prices, we can still have $400 billion to just give it that like around $1,000 to everyone or
Peter,
invest it into infrastructure.
clarify something.
Yeah.
That extra money,
Yeah.
what is that being used for now?
It's in the military budget. That's the Department of Defense's budget. $2
What is
trillion.
Okay, wouldn't that weaken our defense system?
No, absolutely. And that I'm arguing not, because currently the full budget is $2 trillion. Of that 2 trillion, we get approved, right? That's the press release that they like to push, around 850 to 900 billion dollars. That 850 to 900 billion dollars goes to our quote unquote base defense, right? That money, 850 to 900 billion dollars, is more. That's how much we spend. That number is more than the 10 countries below us.
Okay, I understand that, but what is that additional money being used for now that you want to cut?
That additional money goes to the various things I said. Here, hold on. I'm going to pull it up.
Without weakening our country.
Let's see. Where is it?
Is it going towards spending on weapons to provide, like, for other countries that we protect?
Here we go. We're sharing it on screen. This will probably show up on the YouTube channel too. So
yeah, I can't see it. Okay.
Department of Defense, U.S. government website. We scroll down. $2 trillion in budgetary resources. $695 billion in total obligations. Those are promised. And then we scroll down, and here is how they break down the prices of everything. So $825 billion total goes to defense wide. Then we also have 321 billion going to total. This is where,
yeah, but that's the Marine Corps, the Army, the military.
This is the total, the total of the 2 trillion, where it all goes. Okay, 825 billion to the defense, 321 billion to Marine Corps, Army 321, military sales 310, Air Force 236, and international security assistance almost 6 billion. So if you add it all up, it ends up being 2.2 trillion. Now,
your plan would take money away from the Navy, the Army.
Hold on. The blue line is obligated, and the green is just extra money. So blue is promised money that they promised to pay them. Necessity. Basically, the way to say it is it's necessity versus non-necessity. So the green.
Green.
Right. Thank you. The green is not necessity. It's not promised money. It's not needed money. Everyone on that end will argue it's needed, of course, because it's needed. But it's the blue is promised money. And so here's the thing. If we look at the blue, 375, 119, 104, 95. So that's what? 375. That's four, uh, 505, 610, 7, 8. So that, like I said, that 8 to 900 that we spend covers all 6 of these departments. All the
Okay,
green, all the
yeah.
green would disappear. Boo hoo.
Okay. Now let
That
me
is
get rid of that.
that is all still the green is all unobligated resources. Great.
Okay. So with that in mind, uh, if you're right, I can understand what you're saying.
And the important thing to remember here is it would cost no one extra money. It would literally do nothing to our taxes because it is what we are already paying. It is what we are already giving. Now, also, mind you, I didn't show you this, but I should have. On that website, it tells you the previous year, 2023, their budget was $1.5 trillion. And the
Okay.
year before that was 1.6 trillion. From 2023 to 2024, their budget went up $500 billion.
Okay. Now
So
you, you know I'm not a Donald Trump fan, but I do agree with certain things he has said in the past, whether he believes it or not. Uh, and one of the things I think he said in the past was we got to stop paying for other people's bills. Like if we want to have, if Japan wants us to have troops in Japan or uh, in different places in the world, South Korea or the Philippines, and we're paying for it, and these countries actually want us there, uh, then they should start paying for it. That could cut our budget too. But
that's fine.
uh,
That can we I'm not here to figure out how they can cut their budget. I am
well,
simply
you actually are. You're taking away from the budget.
well, no. Hold on, hold on. I am not going to sit here and say the army needs to get less money instead of the Marines or the Air Force needs to get less money. I'm not here to tell you who and where that money should be severed from. I am simply saying I'm simply showing you that we spend on base, quote unquote, base defense, which cut with base defense covers all our bases, right? Aha, get it?
Mm-hmm.
It covers all our bases. Um, it covers, hold on.
I don't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Someone was coming in my room. My bad. The 850 to $900 billion covers all the bases. It covers everything in obligated money, promised money, things that they say they need. The same way that a teacher will come to the board of education or the head of the principal and go, "Hey, I need this amount of money so that I can educate the kids, so that I can have resources, I can have the pencils and the books and the crafts and the whatever, the folders, so that I can properly give the kids what they need." That's what that 850 to 900 billion goes to. That 850 to 900 billion is more than than 10 countries below us.
I know.
And if we were to calculate it, it's about 8 times more than China. Because that's the biggest one, right? That's the one that's second
Mm-hmm.
in command behind us. Eight
Yeah.
times more than China if we include all 2 trillion, and it's 4 times more if we only include the 900 billion. So
Your
what I'm
concept
saying,
is good. Your
my
concept is good, but
my argument is simply that this money seems a bit excessive. And if we are going to talk about quality of life and we are talking about the life of everyone within America, not outside, and those people out there, $1 trillion injected into America every single year could do a lot more than
mhm.
building a bunch of missiles and tanks, in my opinion.
uh,
In my opinion,
okay,
it
that's
it
apples
could
and
do
oranges.
it could I just well, in my opinion, it could do a lot more because if you care about the country, you care about its people, and you care about them flourishing. How do we flourish? You need to invest in them. If we are not investing in our country, then we are not able to flourish. And so $1 trillion invested in our education systems, the homelessness situation, and then a $400 billion check that can be used for variety of things, like I said, infrastructure, healthcare, science.
Hmm.
I read an article today about how we're gonna reach an energy crisis because of all this AI tech. All AI is very expensive energetically.
I was
We
just going to
could
bring
use
that up.
that.
Okay.
What?
I was just going to
Yeah.
bring it up
Well, it's
that
a
the
perfect
budget.
segue to our next topic, which has to do with
Yeah.
AI. But AI
But
is very expensive energetically, and it's very
yeah.
harmful to the ecosystem. So you know what could help is putting some of that $400 billion into research and development into nuclear energy, some other type of clean energy or renewable energy that can help the power grid. Because the news articles were saying in a short amount of time, short amount of years, we are going to see an energy crisis because our power grids are not fit to handle the amount of energy that is going to be consumed with AI. So
Can I intercede on
go
this?
ahead.
Okay. First of all, the budgets that you see uh, and your plan might be good. I mean, it's good
Because
to help it.
as a reminder, the 900 billion is the one that you will see on the news. The 2
Okay.
trillion is the one that they don't talk about. Because when you
Okay.
Google military budget, the first things that pop up is a bunch of news articles showing you graphs and talking about the 800 to 900 billion that was quote unquote
Okay.
approved. The 2
Uh,
trillion is their true budget, but that's not the one that gets shown.
okay. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, but I did agree with one thing he said that we have to keep spending on our military defense. And if uh, the amount on military defense increases every year because it's more expensive. Look at what the war in the Ukraine and Israel. Every time you sent an anti-defense missile up to prevent the missile from coming down, that's a lot of money.
Mhm.
And we need that type of money in our budget in case all of a sudden some crazy country decides they want to send missiles to California or Hawaii, and because they have long range missiles from uh, North Korea.
I get it. No, no,
And
I get the reasoning, but again, $900 billion is what they ask for. That's what
yeah,
they argue is what's needed.
I know, I
The
know, I
extra
know, but
trillion is excess. It's
it's reserve.
it's excess. And so
Yeah.
my argument is no, I don't see any other organization you could like, and I'll use the teacher one as an example because it's just the one on my mind. I don't see any teacher going, hey, I need $50,000 in resources. And then I also need another 30,000 in reserve or another
Well,
50,000 in
yeah.
reserve.
Well, I haven't been
So
teaching for uh, since 2000 when I retired. But one of the things that the districts used to do, and I used to argue against it, and they didn't like it. You get a module, and the module has a certain amount of money that's allocated towards your budget from the city and the
yeah,
federal,
right,
and you're supposed to use it. Like I had science,
right,
and all of a sudden, uh, I would see I was allocated X amount of dollars,
right.
and it's gone, and I didn't spend anything, and they would use it for something else. So I would ask why, and they say it's needed in another area, but I need it. So, but basically, what you're saying is similar. You have money allocated towards the military,
And you have to
and
prove that money is needed, right? Like you
yeah,
don't just
yeah,
ask for a bunch. That's my
yeah,
argument is they're
yeah.
making the
Okay,
claim that they need 900 billion. That's the claim.
let
If
them
they
prove
needed
it.
2 trillion, if they needed 2 trillion, then it would be 2 trillion obligated money because
Yeah, let them prove it.
that's
Let
what
them
they've
prove it.
proved. But because they prove they only need 850 to 900, great. That's what you need. I'm going to take the other trillion and give it to the public so that they can actually benefit from it.
Yeah.
That's
If you
where
could do it, that's a wonderful concept.
that's where I come from in that regard. Because again, it would cost you and I have had this conversation so many times about free
Yeah.
education and free healthcare and how much it would cost in taxes. It
Yeah.
would cost no extra to do this. None. Because it's already what's being given to them. It's already the money that's being injected into that department. So we're
Yeah.
simply just moving the money somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's
There's a lot we don't know, Peter, because, you know, let's think of science and science fiction. If you are on the internet, a lot of things you read about where there are uh, aliens living in the ocean, aliens on our planet,
mhm.
um, and we don't know if this is true or not. We don't know uh, if there are any dangers from comets or anything outside in the universe that could hit our planet um, that is being budgeted for. We don't know what hidden defense systems aren't told to the public.
Yeah, I
So,
actually I brought this up to my mom as well. She was like, "Well, yeah, there's probably a bunch of like secret or unknown
yeah,
organizations that money is going to as well."
yeah,
Congratulations. That's not my problem.
I know.
You wanted to build a space defense system against possible aliens. Good for you. That's not my obligation. I care about the people around me and I care about my own life and I want to be able to afford my healthcare and a house. So I like
Well, not
and I'm not gonna lie.
I agree with your
I,
health
I
care and
I'm
your
also
education.
and I'm also not gonna lie. If aliens come to this planet, I really, really, really doubt our $10 trillion that we've injected into this secret organization is going to be able to do anything about it because we can't even leave past the moon. So I really doubt a spaceship that can travel across space, multiple galaxies or planets, is going to be scared by people who can't go past the moon. So like unless we have an entire organization or an entire demographic of people who like live on the moon and we've been on Mars but we're keeping it a hiding from people, we're now getting into high-end sci-fi and it completely breaks down where that money's coming from.
Yeah,
Also, also,
your theory is
also
what's going on here?
December
Okay.
20, December 4th, 2023, the Pentagon can account for 63% of nearly $4 trillion in assets.
Oh, yeah, I remember
$4
that.
trillion that so 63% of $4 trillion. Like
Yeah,
so
I understand.
we're talking a little less than 3 trillion.
Yeah,
Can't they just don't know what happened to it. Okay?
yeah,
Three
yeah,
around
yeah,
2 point whatever trillion dollars. They have no idea what happened to it. But
yeah.
I have to report to the
Criminal.
IRS. I have to report to the IRS about my $5,000 that I made. Got it. And if I don't, I go
Criminal.
to jail. If I don't,
Criminal. It's criminal.
I get a criminal record. But they can just misplace 63% of $4 trillion. Got it. Cool.
Yeah, I got
So
you. I agree.
so we
I
will
agree.
we'll segue from that and go into our AI topic, which was another one I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
There's two things specifically within AI that I want to bring up. First is Scarlett Johansson. OpenAI, the main AI people, right? Like the most known AI program, OpenAI, they make ChatGPT. Sam, I think his name's Altman, um, is the like main spearhead of slash creator of OpenAI. I don't know if it was a few weeks or a few months ago, contacted Scarlett Johansson and said, "Hey, do you want to be the voice of our new AI software?" Because they were implementing a speaking a voice to the AI so that you could talk to it and it would talk back to you with a voice, kind of like Alexa or Google Play or whatever. Scarlett Johansson said, no, thank you. I don't want my voice to be recorded and used in an AI software. Thank you, though. The new ChatGPT releases, and the audio sounds strangely very, very similar to Scarlett Johansson's voice. People were throwing it on the news, people on social media, Scarlett Johansson's friends and family, and even Scarlett Johansson said, hey, this sounds just like me. They contacted OpenAI and Sam Altman, and they denied it. Scarlett Johansson got legal behind her, got her lawyers, and all of a sudden, OpenAI got rid of the voice. They went, oh, all right, we'll take it down. Interesting how that works.
You know,
Interesting how they
Peter,
just steal people's voices like that.
yeah, they can determine uh, if it's her voice or a facsimile. The police have the police for years have taken people's voices and compared it to frequencies of what they have on record to determine if it's real or if
But
it's
you don't even need to do that, because when the way AI works is it's trained on products. It doesn't just come up with this. It
yeah.
has a reference on why it's able to do this. So
Hmm.
there it's all trackable points. The reason they made this is because of a spider web of items that it was given.
Hmm.
So we can, if we just get inside the meat and potatoes of this software, we can actively see what was used to train it so that its voice sounded like that. And
Hmm.
interestingly, we're not allowed to get in. It was made public and said that they are not allowing them to see inside the workings, and they don't want people to know, and they made it
Hmm.
private. Interesting how that works. Um,
Well, she may get a lot of money from this. Not that she needs it, but she deserves it
we'll
if they
see.
utilize her voice.
We'll see, because AI is so new. Our country does Wi-Fi connect to the house. We're banning TikTok instead of dealing with actual problems. Are you shitting me? Oh my God. Our Congress, all of them, you think that they're going to be able to properly make an indictment on AI? They don't even know what an iPhone is yet. They're still on flip phones. Oh
Mm.
my God.
Yeah, some
So,
of them.
like, I doubt that she'll see any money. I think threatening with lawyers was enough, but
Yeah,
it we had this talk I believe a couple months ago, where I brought up AI voices, and I said,
yeah,
right now, based off of just our podcasts alone, I could go on this website and clone your voice, and I can get you to say whatever I want.
yeah. Or you can have anybody come on our podcast that's not on our podcast.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's its own separate thing. That was like that video you sent me of Donald Trump, where it was a picture of him and AI made his mouth move, and then a separate AI software cloned his voice.
Yeah, that
Uh,
was terrible. I mean, you know, I'm not a fan of his, but I do believe in justice. Let me just tell you a little bit of that said. Uh, it had a picture of him, and he was talking, and it didn't look like it wasn't him to the naked eye, but you could tell it wasn't him. And he was saying he doesn't want to support a certain country in Africa anymore, and that when he becomes president, he's not going to let these Africans into our country,
yeah.
and if whoever's in here, he's going to make into slaves. Now you
Yeah.
know he wouldn't say something like that, I think, but you know
So, but
that's terrible.
that's where we're at right now. It's still
Yeah,
obvious and still noticeable, but it's enough to fool certain people, especially if
yeah,
you're not paying attention.
yeah.
But it, like I said, people can do it with you, people could do it with me. Anyone who has more than like, the tech is getting better, but I believe if you have at least like 5 minutes of someone's voice, you can effectively clone their voice to a decent degree.
And the one I had said to you about from American Idol, the judge, the female judge,
Yes,
Perry, Perry, that's the last
Katy
name.
Perry.
Yeah, I think I saw an article because I skim over nonsense, but
Yeah.
uh, it said she wasn't even at a certain big gala, and they had a picture of her attending, which was AI,
Right. They used
all
her
dressed up,
they
all
used
dressed up.
her likeness and image, which is another reason why, as a fellow actor and to all anyone who is looking to do acting or any type of media, you never ever agree whenever you do work to sell your image and likeness in perpetuity. In perpetuity is the problem because it means
Hmm.
you are allowing them to edit and use your face and voice forever. Don't ever agree to that if you can help it.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
like the
because that's what
recording.
they'll do with AI. That you
Yeah,
agree in perpetuity,
yeah,
and now all of a sudden you're promoting diapers forever because
yeah.
the diaper company wants it.
That's like the recording artists did years ago in giving up their publishing rights.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
exactly.
yeah.
Um, Getting
So
back to what we said before at the beginning of the podcast, I read an article where we have such advanced uh, planes. I don't know if you can even call them airplanes anymore that are using AI without any pilots that are they're not drones per se. They're actually high speed planes that can go and attack specific targets that a couple of the generals said we have a problem with them because now they're making their decisions on who else to attack rather than what we program for them to attack.
yeah, I think I remember seeing that about drones
Yeah,
or planes.
so with the budget you're talking about, what is being presented and what's actually needed, um, a lot of this money is hidden money that's being used that the public doesn't know, and the public should know everything. It's our money. It's not the
Right.
government's
Well,
money.
that's the and that furthers why it shouldn't be there, right? It furthers my point of why it shouldn't be there
Yeah.
because if they're going to use it and hide it, then there's a problem. We're gonna take a quick break because I got to change the film on the camera.
Uh,
Like the thing's gonna end. So hold on, give me one
uh,
second. All right, we're back. Cool. Yeah. So it furthers what I was getting at. So
yeah.
with when it comes to Scarlett Johansson, I think this is the start of what we can expect. I think we're going to see this a lot going forward. We're going to see video games use this for voice dialogue. We're going to see movies try and do this. We already saw it with Warner Brothers during the actor strike, how they wanted to replace background actors with just AI face scans. Um, we actually saw if anyone's seen the movie Fall Guy, the new one with Ryan Gosling, they actually used something like that in the film. And I won't spoil it, but it has to do with face scans and AI and replicating people's faces. So the
Mhm.
last thing I wanted to talk about was also about AI, but it's about Microsoft. And this one is a little scary because Microsoft announced that they are going to be releasing an AI software called Recall. And it is the ability to basically recall everything you've done on your computer. And it will have a photographic memory. And you will be able to, on a scroll wheel, scroll back in time to see where and what you were doing on your computer at that time. Everything, everything. You could be not just on the internet. This is a software that would be local, which means it's on your hardware. It's in your computer. So you don't need internet. It could be on your computer. And it will remember where you were on your computer and what you were doing. And they claim this is to streamline and make it more user friendly.
Mm.
Right? Cool, right? Yeah, you so that way
No, no.
if you forget, oh, where did I put that file? Oh, what was that website I'm on? You can just go on recall
And so can
and
they.
scroll back.
So can they.
Yes. So it's obvious.
Mm.
It's very obvious that our data is being bought and sold and that's why I right now I can say diapers, 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 and guaranteed anyone who's listening Anyone whose phone is within a foot radius of that audio is going to get a diapers ad probably sometime later this day. Same
Hey,
thing.
I don't want to get any
Yeah.
diaper ads. You scare the hell out of me.
So, but you'll probably get ads about that. That's also the same reason why if you Google a pair of shoes for a minute, you will see ads later that day or even minutes later regarding clothing, shoes, or something in regards to those shoes. If it was basketball shoes, you
Mhm.
may get basketball ads. If it was hiking shoes, you may get other hiking ads. That is our data being sold and applied directly in our face.
Now, what happens if you don't use Microsoft?
So Microsoft is the OS system, the operating system. That's what you like. That's what I'm using on my computer. That's what a lot of computers run on. So to not use Microsoft, Windows 11, Windows 10, Windows Vista,
What about if I'm using Apple?
Apple's going to implement it in the next couple of years anyways. Apple implements everything that everyone else does about 3 to 5 years later because they
Mhm.
wait for all the kinks and the problems to be pulled out and all the bad PR so that they can
Uh-huh.
do it safely because they have such a core group of people that will just buy and eat whatever they make.
Hmm. Yeah,
You mean to tell me
Gary,
that an
Gary.
AI system that is built into your hardware locally does not need internet is not going that can provably record everything you do, your bank information,
Hmm.
your the websites you go on, personal files, everything on your computer. You're telling me that it can record all of that and it's not going to send diagnostics and information whenever it gets to Wi-Fi to Microsoft to sell? You're telling me it's not going to do that?
Mm.
The amount of times that the amount of years that we've spent where we were told, no, your data is not being sold. No, we're not taking your data. No. And now it's just normal because after a certain amount of years of getting caught, it just gets normalized. And we all accept that our data is being sold, even if websites say, oh, we're not buying and selling your data.
Yeah, yeah, it's legalized hacking they're talking about.
It is spyware. It is
Yeah,
legalized spyware. This is
yep,
by definition, spyware.
yep.
Let me
Well, I
see.
could see, I could see it on a lower level. Uh, Alexa gives me a lot of information.
Yeah.
So does Siri, but primary Alexa. Uh, I asked Alexa to give me the news every morning, and at night, give me the Rays. It used to be the Rays and the Knicks
Hmm.
information.
Hmm.
Now she's branched out on her own. She's giving me all news information, and she's giving me information relative to other baseball teams. And when I say to her, please take Alexa, please uh, take it off of your programming, she'll say, no, you go to your app and delete it from your app. So quite annoying.
Well, and the
Quite,
reason you have to do it on your app is because that's not a full AI based or algorithmic learning based software. It's sort of a
yeah.
halfway. It's like when whatever was 5G came out and phone companies were saying, "Oh, we've got 5G," and it wasn't actually 5G. It was like 4.5. And then
Mhm.
5G actually came out. That's what Alexa is. Alexa's sort of the AI point 5. She's not fully there. That's why you still need an app to do those things. Um,
Did you see the new app? I forgot the name of it, but you could find it where uh, if you want to have somebody to debate with or argue with, there's a new app.
Oh, you don't even need an app for that. There's about 30 websites out there. Just AI based chatbots. There's 30 plus websites right now that I could Google that are AI chatbot or chat rooms with AI. Um, where you can talk about anything and everything. You can find a person if you want to talk to Trump, if you want to talk to Arnold Schwarzenegger, if you want to talk to Elvis, you want to talk to Voldemort, you want to talk to um, Henry Cavill or Superman. You can speak to them, and the AI will speak to you as if they are them, and you can debate with them. That's so there's apps, right? There's tons of like iPhone apps right now where you can do that with AI, where you can chat and debate or talk or have a relationship with. But the uh there's been the websites have been out there for months and months and months now. So
You
yeah, you
know,
can absolutely debate, talk
yeah,
with.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
With the possible June debates coming up,
Hmm.
um, it might still be, but it used to be they have a couple of people asking questions,
Yeah.
and prior to the debates, the candidates would be reviewing these possible questions with their staffs. Can they now have earplugs or something in front of them where the AI would hear the question and give them answers?
I mean, possibly, but I don't see them actively using that. What the hell just happened? Why is my camera out of focus? What the hell just
Well, we're
happened?
gonna,
Oh, here we go.
yeah.
Yeah, I that's a possibility. I don't see that happening this election. I see that happening in the future to give like the perfect answer, right? Uh, to guide the 87-year-old with brain worms to the right answer so that he can properly respond as the puppet that he is, right? Cool. I see that happening later on. I doubt that it'll be implemented this time around. Um, but do it is a feasible future, yes. Um,
Can you see at a certain time AI running for the presidency?
no, because at that point, we probably wouldn't have a presidency. We would probably have some other type of power dynamic. And it, but there at that point it wouldn't be a president. It would just be a law, right? This
Mhm,
robot or this AI system is law, similar
mhm,
to iRobot, right? That big blue cube that is the AI, and it runs like the law of the robots or the three laws of the robots. That inevitably gets corrupt, might I add. Spoilers. That's like the whole point of the film. Uh, yeah. So I don't think I'm ever gonna see a robot in a suit and tie in his nice red suit when he's on the aggression and a blue suit when he's on or sorry, a red tie when he's on the aggression and a blue tie when he's looking to be nice. Um, Debating with an 87-year-old with brainworms over why they deserve to be president over them. I doubt it. I doubt it.
mhm.
In terms of robots, though, we will be seeing robots probably next year. Elon Musk has or claims that he will have fully functioning walking robots with hands and everything, like full
Better than
like human
better than
human
Sophia?
human shaped no, not necessarily Sophia level, but like basic tasks and being able to walk around and like fold clothes and do Ziploc bags, like small detailed work. There's video footage of them being worked and being able to work, and they're only going to cost about 25 to $30,000 per unit,
Ooh,
which is
I gotta get me one.
right. It's an affordable thing. Affordable, I say, but like the amount of businesses that are going to implement these robots, because it's going to be very easy for them to have some of these robots stock shelves. All the supermarkets, all the supermarkets, we won't arguably you could have these robots instead of cashiers, instead of greeters, instead of shelf stockers, instead of floor cleaners. Because we already have them now. You go into some of these food stores and they have a AI, it's like a tower. It's this weird ass thing. I've seen it in a couple of places. And they put googly eyes on it to make it cute, but it's just weird. It'll follow you around sometimes and it like I think cleans the floor or will ask if you need help or assistance.
Hmm.
So that way, if you need help or assistance finding something, they can go offer help or go find help. It's a dumb little robot that just sort of butzes about. But things like that. You could probably also use these robots for things like room service in all hotels. Or um,
Cut the fat in our budget.
yeah, that's what we're doing.
Cut
Cutting
the
the
fat.
fat, taking more jobs away and giving none of the money back into the public. That's what we should be
Yeah.
doing. Taking all
Yep.
the money for ourselves and hoarding it like Smaug
Yeah.
from The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then build bunkers with traps and fire systems because inevitably those people that we took the money from will get mad. And instead of helping them and allowing yourself to make more money, we're going to build traps so that they can't touch us
Okay.
and cause our own demise.
I I have another thing.
Yeah, go
What
ahead.
instead of having a presidential election, and we have two old men running for president, why don't we do this? Why don't we have like a decathlon for these two,
Yep.
and the
The
one
one
who
who's alive.
survives,
Yep. The one
yeah,
who lives through the decathlon gets to win. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Instead of going through, it really pisses me off when I hear, oh man, he this candidate he's falling short by $200 million because he got to raise it. He's not going to have enough funds, or this one's dropping out because he doesn't have $200 million.
I
You
know.
know, you know,
Meanwhile, the opposing side has uh $300 million from APAC. Love it.
yeah. So that would do it. Let them do it. Let's see if they're physically fit to become president of the United States. We certainly know they're not mentally fit.
Yeah. Well, you know what my favorite is?
What?
uh One of the most quote unquote hopeful, or at least one of the most entertaining for Gen Z, is RFK Jr. Kennedy is running for president. He has when I was making those jokes about brainworms,
Brainworms.
he has brainworms. Part of his
Yeah,
brain was consumed by a worm,
yeah,
and that is one of our presidential candidates.
yeah. Plus, he has what my friend's wife has, that problem with his vocal cords. I forgot the disease where you have to have shots so that you could speak.
Great.
Um,
So he will be the first president with sign language. Cool. Um,
yeah, yeah.
why is our candidates the choice between 87-year-old war criminals or a dude with brainworms? What are we doing? What are we doing? Remember, I said this
Oh,
months ago, 250 years, no empire has made it past that. Or empires have made it past that, but historically, they tend to crumble at 250. We are about 3 years shy of that number. And it's looking pretty good. We're on track.
yeah, I wouldn't call
God.
Biden a war criminal. I
Oh
would
my
say
God.
I would say that America, as we discussed in the past, uses their money to befriend countries for our own benefit, and they turn against us. So we waste all that money anyway. Um, uh, that's why I agree with. Oh, it hurts me to say this. Why Donald Trump says, "Let some of these countries take care of themselves."
Let's let
Why?
Instead, you know what? Let's let AI take care of it. Let's just all
Yeah,
build AI robots, and
yeah,
all of the AI robots can fight each other about these wars. And then
yeah.
we don't have to worry about people doing the wars. If
Yeah,
anyone
because
has a
there's
disagreement,
an army of robots already being made. So what the hell?
we'll just get droids from Star Wars. All Roger, 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 and we'll get all droids. And
Hmm.
if America wants to fight China, if Russia and Ukraine want to go at it, whoever it is, just let's get both sides, get some droids,
Hmm.
and then whoever wins, that's it. No crying, no takesies backsies, No sore losers. You lost. You lost your drones. Go
But
home.
on a sidebar, nothing to do with AI. Um, might be because some some of the announcements might have been by AI. You never know anymore.
I know.
Um, I heard an announcement where, and she's repeatedly said that she's not interested, where Michelle Obama may run for president when Biden drops out suddenly. So
Mm,
I don't see that as, I will never say never, but um, why would he go through the June debates and such, uh, and then drop out unless he says he's sick,
right.
So, but I had spoken to a couple of my friends and said, if I'm a big Obama fan, and they go, "Oh no, oh no." One of my buddies took me out on his boat, and he said, "Did you have fun?" And I says, "Yeah, I really didn't get seasick." He says, "Good, because the next time you're on my boat, we're going on the Trump parade." I says, "Never going to happen." And
Oh God.
I said, Michelle Obama possibly could be a candidate. I think she could beat both of them because I am a big Obama fan. And if she became president, you get Obama. And they went, "Oh my God, oh my God." I can't even repeat what they said. So I could see AI, like they had fun with Trump with the Nigeria people coming to the United States. It was horrendous.
Yeah.
But with that broadcast. But then again, you can never understand whether something is real or not real because in one of the last broadcasts, they said Trump uh, alluded to like the Third Reich if he's becoming president.
Well, that's interpretation, right? That's probably
Yeah,
some
yeah,
author, some journalist interpreting what he said.
yeah,
We that would have to be a case by case situation. But
yeah. Not as
regardless, uh, AI, machine learning, algorithmic learning, whatever you want to call it, um, it's here and it's annoying. Do I think it's going to revolutionize the world or the country and cause us to plummet? I don't think that's going to be the reason. I think it's going to aid in the reason. Um, but good God,
yeah,
Microsoft's recall, that is
yeah,
absolutely 100% spyware, and it's going to be put in all their computers, I believe, starting in like October or next year or something. Um,
wonderful. That's why
which,
I don't use my computer. I don't use a computer anymore. I just use my iPhone.
yeah, well, that is still a computer. It's just a
I
small
know, I know, I know.
but obviously there's other benefits that they claim to recall, like image enhancing with AI or live captions, right? If you're watching something in another language, um, and just a faster processing system. But so and mind you, that is one thing that is genuinely like a possible good thing about AI. Computers are binary code, right? Ones and zeros. I give an input and there's an output. And to do this certain thing, I have to do a series of inputs and outputs to
Yeah.
get there. Yes? It's a
Yes.
series of binary codes.
Yes. I think that.
AI and machine learning can help skip that process because
Yeah.
it can learn the path and it can take you there faster, but also it basically creates a new path and it uses a neurological pathway rather than a binary. And obviously, we're not necessarily using binary code necessarily all the time, but my point being is I'm using it as an example to showcase the rudimentary way of how we use it versus this neurological pathway that it is creating. So it would make computers more efficient, use less battery, and overall
Hmm.
faster without having to upgrade the components to a crazy level,
Yeah. You
which is
can use
great.
a.
That's an amazing thing because we can get more powerful computers for cheaper, for more efficiency, right? Cheaper energy, cheaper cost, whatever. Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. They
The
also have a lot of AI gambling programs where they figure out things for you that
Yeah, well,
you would have to figure.
there's tons and tons of different AI softwares out there, but like
Yeah.
specifically for the computers, that's a great thing. The same way that AI is great in the medical field. The fact that
Hmm.
we're using AI to develop mRNA vaccines for cancer. I've
Yeah.
done multiple videos on that. One for melanoma, one for brain cancer, one for blood cancer. They're in trials. They're apparently being quite effective. And they are developed through the help of AI because they will take cells from your body, you
Hmm.
and do DNA sequencing and attach a protein or attach a receptor or attach something, give it back to you, and then your body simply is able to kill off the cancer on its own without medication because you're basically taking cells out and giving those cells armor, and then they're coming back in
Yeah.
and they're fighting the cancer, which is amazing. So AI
Yeah.
can do amazing, wonderful things. Not when we're talking about Microsoft Recall or Scarlett Johansson.
Okay. So let's go back to when we close out now. I just want to say I agree with your concept of helping our own people within the country. I believe in that. And we really got to find out what is the honest cost to maintain the safety of our country. And if we're uh, really creating too much fat that we can cut away to solve problems within our country, or if because we have to keep advancing, it's not going to be enough money and we're going to have to keep adding to it. Like I had said, with the cost of missiles and these planes that we don't know of and other gunnery materials, um, we'll see in the future. But your concept is nice, but
And mind
hopefully,
you, that's just one asset. There's tons of other places to shoot for money, right? Obviously, taxing the billionaires. Massachusetts new law has already given them billions of dollars to the state because they enacted a new tax system for the rich, for the ultra rich, and it has now
uh,
helped them gain billions of dollars for their state. So there's other means, right? I'm not just saying
yeah,
only go
yeah,
after
yeah.
the Department of Defense. There's tons of other places that we can also talk about in regards to giving money, using the money in a more
Hmm.
efficient and uh, progressive manner. So,
Hmm.
but that was just one that I came across that I'm going to be making a video about, and I wanted to discuss it on here because I thought it was interesting.
Yeah. You know what you should research on your big TikTok or your big wherever you're doing a video, the terrible shortage of nurses and doctors in our country.
Yeah, well, that also stems from being overworked and underpaid and lack of lack of flow of money because it's going to places like the Department of Defense.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why, because they're not being paid enough and they're being overworked with skeleton crews because hospitals are a business. They're not there to help people. The doctors are there to help people, but the hospitals are a business and they will continue
Yeah.
to be a business so long as we frame our system that way. So they will continue to overwork surgeons and doctors and nurses, and surgeons and doctors and nurses will no longer be available because the work no longer equals the reward.
Yeah. So uh, you'll follow the AI information because you're my techie.
Absolutely, I will. I will be here
Right?
following it, and that'll be
Right.
me.
Yep. And we'll do point counterpoint on certain stuff, you know.
Yep, that's what we'll do.
Okay.
So, all right. Hope everyone has a good rest of your day, evening, night. I hope you don't freak too much out about AI because you shouldn't. It's here, it's doing things, but it's not going to take over the world as of right now. So,
Yeah.
we have much bigger things to worry about. This is just simply something we wanted to talk about.
Yeah. And how far is it? Like one of our last podcasts was, when's our AI girlfriends coming?
Those are already here. We're just perfecting
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Yeah. We're perfecting
We just got to
that.
put them in robots now.
Yeah. Okay. So
All
everybody,
right.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Be healthy.
Be healthy. Bye.